What's happening, guys? Welcome back to episode 7, picking up from the Crystal Sage bonfire. So, at the end of last episode, with taking out the Crystal Sage, as previously mentioned, you are going to be at a fork in the road where you could either go to Fair and Keep or you can go to Cathedral of the Deep. So, with that being said, going to Fair and Keep, although that can be done, the main boss can be taken out, you will not be able to progress past that unless you have a quest item, which you could only grab from Cathedral of the Deep. So it is going to make more sense, especially for the walkthrough, to go there first. So leaving the Crystal Sage bonfire, we're going to be working in a transitional zone up to our next area. So as you go here, you'll see a little break. We're going to drop, get Twinkling, and then if you drop again, spin around to the right, there'll be another Crystal Lizard, more Twinkling right here. So once we get 2 more, we'll actually be able to get our unique weapon at +3. Now remember, it only goes up to +5, so that's pretty good, pretty good. So from there, I actually like to stick to the left-hand side because if you can wait on them, there will be one of these big guys patrolling. So you have 3 bigger enemies. You're gonna have Dorothy down there with her blood loss bullshit, then 2 cage bros. So typically, you should be able to do a drop attack, then just swing for the fences, and he should be dead before he can land an attack. It will be close, but usually that's how it will play out. So, oh yeah, I told you it's gonna be close, but usually you can get it. Now I don't have as much in strength as I typically would at this point because for newer players doing the recommended build, we've really been pushing for base stats to get that over and done with to raise that survivability. So our damage might be a little bit shy compared to what it is usually, but it's not going to be an issue as you see. It usually takes like 1 less hit to take these guys down. So once you have both of them, we can go on down for Dorothy. And matter of fact, I should have done this earlier. We'd have to run to de-aggro her, but if you know what you're doing, you can actually get a backstab. And she is pretty tough if you're new to the game at least. It's because everything's blood loss. You're dealing with swarm of flies, you're dealing with her weapon does blood loss. So you gotta go real slow and just try to, shimmy up here. Don't want to make too much noise. That's our down half her health, and once we get that frostbite proc, should just kind of melt her down. Makes life a little bit easier. So that's another starting set for your Herald. I like the Herald because it's really light. We get 2 real light armor sets. That being one, then another one that's pretty presentable that could be nice until late game where you have more weight limit. Now, going through here, there are a few things to note. There's a few items on the sides. You're going to fight 2 invaders. So as soon as you go up, we're going to go to the left-hand side first. This guy's really steady, and both of them, they stay on you, and then from range they'll throw daggers. So they're just, like I said, really, really persistent that way. Like, their attacks just don't stop. Oh no, really not that bad. The second one does a bit more damage. The first one's just annoying. Ashes, so that's your Paladin's Ashes, which will expand the shop with the Handmaiden at Firelink Shrine again. It's going to happen a lot going through your playthrough. Now, when you get to the stairs about halfway up, the first set of stairs, right here on the left, we can grab a Titanite. It's about the only item that's here, honestly. So, Titanite Shard. Then getting back on course, we're going to go up the first flight of stairs. But before you go to the second, you can actually curve over here to the right hand side and get a pretty nice shield. I mean, for where we are in the game, it's probably the best looking shield, my favorite shield. 100 physical damage negation, right, for physical attacks. The elemental are okay. Most shields never have great elemental. But it's a really good looking shield, same size as ours. Now we have on the Chloranthy ring, so we don't really, need that shield for stamina regen as long as that ring's on. Stay on her, stay on her. I think she can parry, but she knows for the most part I'm just getting in and backing up. Like I said, her damage output's not shabby. Now this game gets you the spider shield she's using. I have no interest in it, but You guys might like it. Now, if you want to go down and rest, do so. The only thing really in our way between us and the bonfire is some dogs and some archers. Now, when I go in here, I like to go to the far left, and a dog will drop down and follow us, but there's no other enemies. That way we can just kind of pull them to us. Thank you. Now, if we continue along, we're going to come behind everybody. I mean, they'll turn around, but you're essentially behind everybody to line them all up. Yeah, we're in trouble. We're in trouble. It's not hard to get caught. Not here. It really isn't. That's why I say want to, try to separate everybody. Is my shield not working? Is it like... I'm not understanding. Usually you just, hold up a shield and people bounce off of it. Wasn't really happening for us there. Yeah, that's what you're supposed to do. Alright. There should be 2 more dogs if memory serves. One's in the lower portion, and then one up top. But we can just circle back around right here. Get back up there. Usually I get him last, but he already saw us. The only item here is the soul item right here. That's it. That's the only thing you're going to get. Now we could use our lock on to see if we missed any dogs, but nope. So maybe we already got him. There should have been another one. Oh, there he is. He fell. As I say, there should have been one more. According to my notes, at least. Alright. So now we got all that done. We'll be working our way over to the cleansing chapel. So the cleansing chapel is almost like a... It's not a hub area, but almost. It's definitely a hub for this location, as there's many paths through here, and all the paths connect to the cleansing chapel. Now he's going to just light us up with fire and run at you. Frostbite is the opposite of fire, so, it works out quite nice. And you can run for your bonfire and then clear this area. The fact of the matter is this is going to give you another heal up there. So let's try to grab that real quick. So, Estus Shard. Now, before we move forward, just to talk about for a moment, this guy right here brings you to the first DLC. Now, I haven't decided if I'm going to do a complete, and that's the thing, man, because I have notes on most of both DLCs, and then we're completely done with the notes of the base game for the whole walkthrough. But I'm trying to decide if I'm going to do a complete series of the base game with both DLCs, or if we'll run these, consecutive. So, we'll figure it out as we go. But we'll say, if you want to do the DLCs, do not do them right now. Recommended level 80 for the first one. Then the second DLC, the Ring City, is much higher level than that. So typically you would get through the game, beat the final boss, come back here. He will send you to the first DLC. Then the second DLC can only be entered from the end of the game past the final boss. So you gotta be careful not to go into New Game Plus. Or when you beat the first DLC, you can get there. But I would suggest you go completely through the game, and we will cover the DLCs, both. But we're going to focus on one thing at a time. That way we're going to the DLC with the best weapons in the game. Multiple, like Titanite slabs, which is the final upgrade match. So you can actually upgrade things you want. We'll have all the spells, the best armor, and just be super high level. Probably around level 100, I would, imagine. And that would set us up really nicely. However, you can enter it right now. At our level, I would not recommend it, guys. Like I said, it's recommended level 80, 85. We're sitting here at level 30. It's not the place for us. And then the DLC, you would think, because they're late game, like right at the start, you can go and get good resources. Nope. You're just going to find regular Titanite, So, fact of the matter is, it's just one of those things you want to hold off on, right? Deep in the DLC, yeah, there's some great stuff, in-game level stuff. But until you, get deep in the DLC, you're just finding shit you're going to find in the main game. Alright. So we were one level short to get to that 18 dex for our next weapon. This is a weapon you could use for the whole game, just so you guys know. But I want to get Ultra Greatsword. That way we're getting increased poise, we're guaranteed to land hits, we're getting a lot of posture damage, a lot of damage. It's just good for newer players. Now while we're here, we did pick up some Umber Ash. We're going to turn that in. Then we're going to make a recommendation. You're going to want to make sure that you buy the torch down here. There is a enemy who is pretty much going to leave maggots on you every time he attacks you. Now, these maggots will cling to you and proc blood loss 3 times. Each time it procs, it takes half your health. So it's really annoying. With the torch, we pull it out, they'll fall right off. So we want to make sure we have that. Aside from that, turn in your ash, got you the Exile set. Really dope set for those tanky strength builds. However, it's really heavy. It's going to be a while before you have the vitality to pull that off. Then there was one item we have not discussed to this point. Oh yeah, new weapons. You guys always check that stuff out. Tower key. This comes late game. You can buy it now. You can go in the tower behind us, but it doesn't make sense to do so because there are quests that get tied up late game, and those NPCs are not even in place. So you can't go into the tower and get like a ring or something. But I mean, it's not worth the 20,000 souls. Late game, we can take out a boss, get like 80,000 souls, and makes it easy. And then we're gonna do it in a time where our quests line up because there are people that will end up in these towers that we haven't even met yet. Either way. We're about to get our upgrades. We did not get enough yet. Turned in our Pyromancy book. We did not meet him. So this is where Orbek's going to be. So right across from Pyromancer. Told you, we'll tell you, as we send people here, I'll show you where they're going to be.
Oh, yeah, let us know.
So this is Spell Bro. As you see, he already has a handful of stuff. Some of this stuff's pretty damn good. Better than anything you have at this point. So he's got regular Soul Arrow. You don't need that no more. Great Soul Arrow, you already got these from Gold most likely, but he does have Heavy Soul Arrow, you have not gotten. Great Heavy Soul Arrow, Farron Dart, Spook, Magic Shield, Magic Weapon, which you've seen some of these. Farron Flash Sword, Soul Great Sword. So some of these, obviously y'all had, but there's a lot he did not have. And aside from that, you have Arena over here. Now, when it comes to Arena, her quests, we're not really going to cover till late game because you can't do it unless you have all the tomes anyways. But how this works is if you were to, you can give her all the tomes, but do not buy any spells. I repeat, do not buy any spells if you do not know what you're doing with this quest. It's so easy to mess up. So you're going to notice you have dark spells, and then you have light spells. So these are more like faith, like positive spells. So whatever she teaches you, she has to learn herself, and this can't inflict her because she's like a medium, right? So if you teach her all the, you buy all the light spells, that's going to be her good ending, where she'll become a second Firekeeper and happy ending. If you buy even one dark magic spell, you're locked into the bad ending, right? So if you don't know what you're doing, you could easily fuck up this quest. Now we'll probably cover, we'll cover the. I'll look at my notes. I want to cover the light ending, but the dark ending has a fight that we could do. And that seems like more walkthrough ready. But with the light ending, we could still get everything back. All the dark spells, Egon's armor, Egon's weapon. So pretty much there's 2 ways to do a quest. There's no right or wrong. It just depends on what ending you're actually after. So it is something we have to look into, because I might actually change my mind how we're doing it. I was planning on backing up our saves and doing both, but I'm not going to do that because it just costs so many souls to buy all the spells right at the end. While we are here, I know I'm kind of going on about a lot, but there is, there's a lot going on here, right? A lot of ways we could do things. We also want to go ahead and send him to pillage. He has not went out to pillage for us just yet, so this will be the first time. This is what his quest is all about. So he's a thief. He's going to go to later game areas to steal stuff for us, and then it allows us to buy really good weapons and super good upgrade mats that we find, really rare. So his quest is probably the most rewarding, in my opinion. Alright guys, either way. Now we have all that. Make sure you're caught up on all your upgrades. We'll jump back to Cleansing Chapel. Yeah, but Rena's quest can go 2 ways. Like I said, you buy the light spells, you get the good ending. She's going to turn to a Firekeeper, give you 2 people to level up from, I guess. But doing that, you would lose your dark spells, you would think. But she drops them at her feet. The bad ending, Egon, who looks over her, is going to be pissed that she got corrupted and he wants to fight, and that will lead to you getting his armor and his weapons. However, there is a way doing the light ending to still get his set. It's just really obscure, so we'll probably go for the good ending, I guess. I'll usually pick the endings for these types of quests that lead to a fight, because that seems like something you cover in a walkthrough. But if we can get more items or better items, then that's obviously, more important. Either way, guys, before you head on out, this time we'll swap out that for your torch. Now, there's a side path over here. A lot of people probably ran past if you didn't know. But as you go up, take these guys out real quick. But there's a super rewarding side path. So that's going to take you on up to the cathedral, which we're not doing just yet. Instead, we're going to go on over here to the right. Now, if this next enemy hits you, it's going to leave maggots on you. That's what the torch is. I guess we could show it off. So, now, if you use fire, it will stun lock them, make it easier to put them down. Right. So just to show this off, oops. When you pull out your flames, you see how we have blood loss proc, where usually there's maggots that'll stick on you. So I meant to show it off. Just have it to not get caught, you know. Either way, you see how they just kind of dropped off of us? Alright. Now hopefully we show this before he kills us. But yeah, so there's a bunch of maggots all over your character. They're going to keep rocking blood loss, right? And then you pull out the torch. They'll fall. So that's what I was trying to say. Now, as far as dealing with them, if you smack with your torch, you see that? You can stun lock them and then just finish them off. So instead of using your shield, I would rely more on dodging. That way we could have the torch free to smack them with and then easily put them down. So right here's going to be your next catalyst. Safe tree. Now, he's going to attack, and then we'll do it. Hopefully, smack with your torch. And you can stay on with your torch too, just doesn't do much damage. If you're looking for a good farm, these guys are worth quite a bit too, like 700, something like that, 6 something. You should be okay with the torch. There's other enemies coming up that does the same thing, but not, you know, for a bit. So, when you go up, there's going to be a few crystal lizards. What I like to do is run wide to the right. That way, I'm sorry, to the left. That way, they get stuck on the wall to the right. It makes it easier to get them. So there's your first. And moving forward, there'll be one more. And then that gets us another upgrade to our special weapon. We'll run wide to the left. Alright. So now we got him. We're going to turn around and go uphill to the right-hand side. So this whole optional path is really just upgrades. You know, Twinkling Titanite skill. All of your upgrades, actually. One of each, at least. And then we'll have another big lizard. So this is your Titanite skill. This is what you need to upgrade boss weapons. Which sucks is we're sitting here 7 hours into the game, damn near. I'd say a good 5. And we've only found one. This only makes 2 Titanite skills. It takes like 16 to upgrade one weapon. So it's going to be a long time. And that's also why you don't have the resources to upgrade more than one boss weapon until like the end of the game. So if you pick a boss weapon, you better like it. I promise you, you will be stuck with it the entire playthrough for the most part. That's why we haven't just picked one and started, you know, messing around with them yet. Alright, so going back, we're going to pull out our torch. Right, bitch. Trying to lock me down. Hold on. Thank you. 2 and... Nope, a little extra. Alright, so this ring also is going to help you out with Fair and Keep. It's another reason I like to do it second, besides the fact that we have to. That ring is going to give you increased resistance to poison. So it's similar to Crucifixion Woods where you run through a lake, or swamp rather, but this time it's all poison. So being able to raise our resistances is going to be a big help. Now, we've got all that. Gonna rest on up. Yeah, we'll wait. It's a good time to jump back to Firelink again because we did get enough upgrades to bring up our weapon. But I'm about to get you guys 2 new weapons. They're probably some of the best ones you got to this point as far as basic weapons go. We'll probably wait, you know, until we have a bunch of choices and then going back. So this time we're going to be taking the straightforward path. Now in this graveyard, you can kill these guys if you want. They're worth like 20 souls a pop, like 23 souls. It's virtually nothing. I would just kill the ones that are in your way, because they don't stop coming. They're instant. You know, it's not even a farm either, because they're not working. But just to show, you know, they're just not going to stop coming. Not going to stop coming. So what we're going to do is, if they're in your way, put them down. Now, all we're really doing is working our way to the left. So if you go straight, the first path that lets you go left, take it, should be right here. Have it. Starting to annoy. Now, take a left again, right to where you see this guy by this memorial stone. So this is your first weapon. First true greatsword as well. That's the store's greatsword. Now that weapon is going to be something we're going to recommend until you get your first real boss weapon, because it's super solid. It's one of those weapons that'll carry the whole game if you like it. It's really nice. You can infuse it, you can buff it, so it's got a lot going. But it's an ultra greatsword. You know, that's why we went ahead and recommended strength / quality build. So we have access to ultra greatswords. So I'm not really a strength guy, you know, as far as like big colossal weapons, but in Dark Souls 3, they work really well for anyone that's new to the game just to get through it. They're really good, you know. And their execution is great sword. So instead of being colossal, that's a regular great sword. It's so good, man. It's so good. Just, you know, basic, but really good. So we'll show both off. Both are solid choices. So now we're just going to keep on working our way out. Eventually you're going to see this bridge. And you will see a path to your right, but we're not worried about taking it. There's no items to get. That's why you probably noticed there's a few other paths in there too, but there's no items, so no sense in, you know, taking that. Now moving forward, you're going to have a super elite enemy, who is your Grave Warden. These ladies suck. They're dual-wielding twin blades that I do believe have blood loss on them. That's that lady right there in the dress. She can be a real nuisance. Definitely want to use your shield and try to just lock her down if you can, you know. Just like any elite enemy we face, if you have full stamina, we just swing on them 5 times and kill them. You know, make sure you have full stamina bar and swing for the fences, guys. That's it. But you've got to maintain that stamina. Now, these guys are like the dogs coming out of them. They can be threatening. They'll grab you, put maggots on you. So heading to the lower part, remember I told you we made friends with that giant, he'd still be throwing javelins at people later on. But look at this. Still helping you. He is the gift that keeps on giving. Repair powder to the right here is the best item we're going to get, your undead bone shard. So that's going to give us a little bit more healing efficiency. Young white branch, young white branch. Should be all clear. I do want to check the time. A lot goes into this episode. Yeah, almost 30 minutes. Not done quite yet. So when you go up the stairs, you're going to see that taking you up to the cathedral. We're going to ignore that for the time being and go down here to the right. This is going to get you out the shortcut in case you die. You don't have to run past that shit every time. Oh, I forgot to pull out my torch. Get off me. And before you go in, we're going to go over here to the left. Right there. Titanite. Get you a nice great shield. Not the best looking great shield, but it's a choice. Then this is actually going to bring you straight on back to the cleansing chapel. This would actually be a good place to wrap, but I want to keep pushing a bit here, guys, because I want to get you at least into the chapel, so I'm sorry, into the cathedral, so we can try to, you know, wrap this up in a full episode. It might take 2 more. There's a lot here, but figure we can just go a little bit over this episode next and get it all done, so we actually start making some real progression in the game. So looking at the game this way, early game areas are, you know, Fair and Keep, Cathedral of the Deep, Crucifixion Woods, all that. So after this area and next, that's where the game really starts. All these areas are really just kind of getting you set up, you know, for your journey, in my, you know, my honest opinion. Getting you some spells, some rings, stuff like that. Look at that. Talk about perfect. Perfect time. I don't know if we have the strength for it. Let's see. Where are you at? Right here we do. 16 strength, 18 dex. This is very much a quality weapon. I know it says better scaling in dex than it is in strength. When you upgrade it, it's going to be fine. We'll be able to bring these stats up together. But this is just to bide us time until we get our first true recommended weapon coming from like a boss weapon, something really good that we can, take through the game. But yeah, it's super good choice. So it's an ultra great sword. Even at just 20 stamina, it gives us enough to swing it around a few times. 3 times doesn't seem like enough, but the damage output's pretty extensive, so it's really nice. Then the other weapon we picked up, and we still have our weight right for it, is your Executioner. I like this one. It's not ultra great sword, just a solid great sword. Quick swipes, but does a lot of posture damage. That's why I like it a lot. It does a lot of posture damage. Nice beefy heavy hits. But if memory serves, you cannot buff or infuse it, because any weapon that has like a special skill that gives you like health back or anything like that, you can't buff or infuse. Now, I don't know if we have enough to pull this off, but I would like to try. We haven't upgraded anything yet. That's why I've been holding out for. Another reason why we went with the Frostbite sword. Yeah, look at that. +3, baby. +3. So right now, we're already doing over 200 AR. Quite a leap. And then as an offhand weapon, we still have our Frostbite sword. And that was really just to buy us time, but there's no other Twinkling Titanite weapon I like. So it's a solid, offhand weapon, in my opinion. That does put us over. Still put us a little bit over, didn't it? Let's see if we could lighten up a bit so I can keep both of those on. Oh, so close. That'll do it, but we got that ugly mug. Where's the pants for that? Just until we get a little bit more weight up. Maybe we could put back on that helm. Getting it close, but look presentable. Alright. So now that we got all set up, put in our undead bone shard, and we're ready to go on back. You see what I'm saying about putting those levels in vitality? Because we don't even have much going on, and we just don't have the weight to do anything, man. We really don't, But I love this sword. You don't get to swing it wildly like everything else. It's more precision based. Like, every time you swing your sword, you better do it with intent rather. It doesn't hack and slash as the Souls like, but I mean, you're just knocking guys back. You can stun lock guys. It offers a lot. The big damage of every hit. You can't beat it. Still got nice thrust abilities. So I like it, There we go. I don't have to keep on the Frostbite sword, but it's really nice because when you get into those more complicated fights, with the Frostbite sword, it does those huge chunks of health on the enemy, so it makes fights easier. Plus, it's just quick. And we don't even have to use this sword. Like I said, we could stick with the Frostbite. It's got really good damage, really good scaling on top of this, huge health burst damage. But, as far as like newer players, I think this weapon's a fine weapon that will help. Let's look at that. If she's getting hit, she's struggling to get any hits off herself. You know what I mean? And we're getting quite a bit of damage too. Alright, so going from your shortcut, we're going to go back up top. Like I said, the goal for this episode is just to kind of get inside and get our first shortcut. And this next part is a pain in the ass, so heads up. Now, right over here on the left, that's your rusted coin. Rusted coins are used for farming, right? So you're trying to farm up armor or weapons or even items from enemies. That's what you would use to boost that item discovery. There's a guy up top spamming fucking bolts at you. You gotta try to be quick here. Now what he's using is called undead bone shards. It's gonna prevent your healing for quite a while too. Super annoying. A lot of these guys are using it. Now I want to pull him down so we can clear this area. So what you'll typically do is clear those guys. Go on down. Alright, let's wait for our healing. Then you go around the corner. Go ahead and get rid of him. And they got us again already. Yeah, they're really annoying, man. I can't say enough. They're so annoying with that shit. Because this area outside of here, man, it gives you some real fucking trouble, dude. It's nothing but gank traps and bullshit. It's pretty bad. So you want to try to be cautious as you can. And we also want to make sure we have on our seal. That's why we're kind of going to dabble in pyromancies a bit. Because they're really nice. If you don't have fire bombs or throwing knives, you find situations like this, you still have an option, you know, to make things a bit easier. So our fireball's going to work real nicely here. So there's 3 in total. 1 there. This guy's got the flambers. That's a really good weapon if we could actually get it to drop. Dude, we just knocked you off. Somehow you respawned with full health. He was like about dead. 1 fireball almost one-shots him. Nope. Alright, we'll go to the right. Take him. Smack the barrel. You guys have seen this play out before. There should have been 1 more. Now this part kind of sucks. You have multiple guys shooting bolts at you, and they're also staggering their attacks. So when you're trying to take 1 out, the other 2 are usually firing at you. But if you can just kind of maneuver just right, it's not so bad. Yeah, we're gonna break that shield. So two-handing your great swords give you a really solid moveset. You're not really going to be able to block. I mean, you can, but you're going to take damage. I mean, this blocks 50% of the damage you're going to take. But still, you know, getting those really beefy hits, you're guaranteed to get through shields to get damage off, so it's just really nice. So when you go up here to the right, run up and roll back. And try to use thrust if you can actually reach them. That way we can try to keep our distance here, just like that. Now, I will tell you, this area is really easy to get killed. It's not really worth your time. You're going to get a consumable. That's it. Undead Hunter's Charm. We already have a few. And it's really high risk, to say the least. Because it puts you in a really tight spot to fight Dorothy. Yep. Now, they already got us with the bullshit. That's what they're using. They're using Undead Hunter Charm. You know, so that's where you're going to get it from. Remember, her range is pretty good. Yeah, try to knock her back. That's the other really good reason to use Ultra Greatswords, because just that charged heavy, it will knock an enemy down. By the time they're getting up, you're already loading up another one. It's just a cheat code. It makes the game easy almost, you know, just depending on the setup. Now this guy's going to come at you, and there's a bunch of guys right past him, so let him come this way, guys. Do not rush him. You might regret it. There's a bunch of thralls that are just gonna just fight, and they're gonna get on your ass if you're not careful. As soon as you get to this room, yep, all you do is try to swing. There's gonna be a few that come for us, so I try to aggro them. There they are. So they're up top. Yep, I just know they come down on it. Oh God! Yep, told you. So I said, do not rush there. Thank you. So we just really need to separate these guys best we possibly can. Alright, so when you go in here, there's going to be 2 hanging. One's on the roof in the center, and then one's on the wall. That's your flame birds. You. It's your soul. Now we're good. Now you can go up top. It just gets you a way to drop down to that little area we just did, but there's no need for it. So I like to go forward and take him. If you like to throw Undead Hunter Charms, so does he. We do not need this bullshit. You know, we don't need it. Because just past these guys, you actually have to fight 2 Grave Wardens. Not just 1, but 2 of these broads. So usually how it's going to go is we're going to pull 1 over. Like I said, by the time they're getting up, reload another, right? Good day. Yeah, they gave me so much shit my first playthrough. I absolutely hated this, but as you see, it doesn't have to be so bad. It just can be. So yeah, suicide bombers. I thought we got them both. There you go, just roll through it. Come on. Oh, he hit us. He hit us. Yeah, they do a lot of damage, man. A lot. Now that's the door to go in. We'll go ahead and open it, but we're not going to go in yet. You also notice you're getting quite a few souls going through here, guys. Quite a few. Now, there's a big guy with a great axe right over here around the corner to your left. So if you want to try to thin up the herd, just get ready for him. Yep. Now these guys will usually try to, you know, run and explode, but you keep them close, and they think they're going to use. Oh shit! Yeah, I've had them one-shot him before, but it's actually kind of hard to line up. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Just phenomenal movesets on the Ultra Great, so I cannot say it enough. Now we got 2 undead bone shards. Our healing's actually starting to heal us a bit, because you know, you got about, what, 20 levels in the health. Now, when you go through here, all we're doing is working towards the first shortcut, but as you progress the zone, these little blobs are going to be everywhere. They don't seem too formidable. They just little spikes would pop out of them. But you'll get down below and you're trying to fight a giant, and then there's like 20 of them by your feet, right? And just them bumping into you staggers you, so you can't get attacks off, and it really sucks. Now, you notice how much physical damage it took to put them down. If you use fire, 1-2 hits, they're done. So we'll probably go ahead and infuse with fire, because not only the Cathedral of the Deep, but even Fair and Keep, everyone's kind of weak to it. So at least for a while, fire holds up quite nicely. You're not going to have scaling, but, you know, it'll still carry you quite well for a while. Alright, so these are Deacons of the Deep, your new enemy type you're going to be facing. Now, once we move forward, right over here to the left is going to be a lift. Get your shortcut. Now this will lead you right back to the cleansing chapel. Oh shit, notched whip. I cannot believe I forgot to pick that up for you guys. There's a whip here that does blood loss if you like whips. Not really my thing, but some people might like them. It's actually right here. Just they kind of lined up perfect anyways. Just get it at the end. Alright, then with that, we can go back to our bonfire, rest up for next episode. While we have the souls, and we do have a fire gem from taking out that demon and the undead settlement, I want to go ahead and get this infusion on. There's actually a few things we could do to make ourselves stronger. For one, we could infuse with fire, then we could rock the fire clutch ring and get even more damage. So that should help us kind of just comb through this place quite nicely. So we're going to go with fire. Now we only have one. You can farm those up from the workers, right? So do keep that in mind if you want to try to get more. Can we pull a level here? I think it should be rather close. That might do it. I don't know. It's going to be close. Oh yeah, that's it. What level are we at? 41. I feel like we're above level. And that's crazy because we've been buying a bunch of shit too. We may have got like extra soul drops that we usually don't. So from this point, you because we're reaching weapon requirements, and our next weapon isn't for a bit. We have quite a few areas to do first, so I'm okay with the levels where they are, for now at least. Strength needs to come up, for sure. But I feel like it's a good time to try to get most of this done, because like I said, Vitality's going 25, Endurance is going 25, then Health's going to 30. So 4 more levels, Vitality's done for the whole game. You know, done, over with. We will want more weight, but there's rings and things we can use to help with that. So 4 levels, that's done. 5 levels, that's done. I want to try to knock both of these out. For health, we could always use Embers. You know, we could always Ember up where it's, you know, not so bad. But yeah, if we could at least get 2 of our 3 base stats done, you know, 25, 25, then we'll start working that up. Then finish off health. I think that would be just smart, you know, in our defense. I think it'd be really smart. Now, anytime you have some extra souls left over, remember, we have a lot of stuff we need to buy up, guys. You know, you have to get all the spells. And he's still gone pillaging until you take out your next boss. But yeah, you have to get all the spells towards your trophies. So, like I said, anytime you have some leftovers, that's what I would do. I would go through. Or start trying to pick up whatever we can from him. Because that was all your old stuff. So we're just going to go NPC to NPC. Then late game, you know, whatever we're missing, when enemies are worth a lot, like 2,000 enemy, 3,000 enemy, it'd be a lot easier to get these spells. Since last episode, we've turned in the ash. Oh, you know what we could do before we close out? How long have we been going? 40 minutes. Yeah, I told you we'd go over a little bit. We could actually go out here, take out the master. I told you that we didn't want to do that first thing because he's got blood loss, crazy damage output. He's just really steady, like he's always attacking. So he's pretty difficult early on. However, I feel like we're in a pretty good spot to take him out. And then there are some items we could trade with the crow. So we're already going over a little bit anyways. Might as well do it now. So this guy's a dick. You know, like I said, katana, blood loss, high damage output for especially right at the start of the game. But, oh shit. If we could just get our hits in and knock him down, yeah, he'll block too. Like that. See? Now if you would have fought him at the start of the game, I assure you it would have been a different fight. So that's going to get you a katana for dex builds. Katanas are super nice. I mean, when you upgrade them, obviously their damage output is going to be really nice. But then you got blood loss procs, which just do massive amounts of damage. They're quick. You're just getting a lot of damage out in a very short amount of time. They're odd to use without shields. I'm a shield guy. I think that's why I've never really liked them. But yeah, dual-wield katanas or, you know, maybe a seal in one hand, like a dex faith build. That'd be kind of cool. Now, we do have to do our trick jump. You will get better the more you do it. Yep, I say that and I still suck at it. When I'm playing my own, I feel like I always get it first try. But, as soon as I start recording, everything goes awry. Alright, so I told you guys you can look up a subreddit page and I'll tell you every item you can change. Or, I'm sorry, trade in with the crow. Now, for me, I have specific items I want to trade in for the walkthrough. We have notes on everything we want to trade. But yeah, there's others too. So Sigbrow, the first time you get one, you'll get a few of these if you're worried about it. It just gives you frostbite resistance, and then on top of that, I think it gives you a little bit of health, right? It's not a big deal. It's just a consumable, a decent consumable. I cannot remember if we gave him a homeward bone yet, so we'll leave that. I wanted to try this. There should have been another quest item, the vertebra. Where's, oh, right here, I'm right on it. So we got this. So every invasion item you get, it's like a quest item. Like your Sigbrow or vertebrae, anytime you do an invasion, you get quest items. Leave those here. That's what they're for, right? Now, he gave us our mask. He gave us, he didn't take that, but we must already give him the homeward bone. Armor of the sun. These are only obtained through this, you know, through this way. And this is going to get us a Titanite chunk, which is a much later game upgrade. I've been holding off on that one. There you go. Like I said, there's quite a bit. And that's pretty much all we're going to trade. There's other items. Like, there's a late game item we'll get, which is so good. You know, he'll trade you out a Titanite slap, which there's only a few in the game to fully max out weapons. But the item you have to trade is really good, so I wouldn't recommend it. So there's some stuff you just don't want to trade. So just check in with him. Lift chamber keys. We'll fit that in. This does not pertain to the walkthrough or the main story. This is multiplayer stuff. but since it is additional content, we'll do it. That key leads you to a fight to get you a permanent invasion item, so we'll cover it at some point. It's just not really important. Has nothing to do with the main game. So from here, did we put in our guy? We did. All right. So back to Cleansing Chapel. With that, we are good to go. So we're gonna try to fit everything in next episode. There's a lot going on. There's some optional stuff. There's just a lot of main stuff. I will say the biggest things to get you set up for the next area, guys, is using a fire infusion, at least for Cathedral of the Deep, and then Fair and Keep will be helpful. They're all these enemies are really weak to fire. It makes things much easier. Then make sure you have embers. There are invasions we need to do to get weapons and armor sets, and you can only do these invasions if you're embered up. So make sure you're stocked up and ready. But either way, with that, we are going to close on out. So as always, I do greatly appreciate you guys. Please subscribe for more walkthrough, and we will see you back here shortly.